Lubbock's first news at 7:09. Good morning. Coming up this weekend, May 9th, it's the Wolfforth Water Expo. And in the house, you got, I guess we could call him the organizer, David Cooper. Welcome to the program. How are you this morning?
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Pull that mic down just a little bit. There you go. Hey, okay, so this is going to be at Frenship High School from 10:30 to 4 p.m., this weekend. Before we get started with all this, I did want to say there is food involved here. They're having all these the food truck roundup. Now, this is a phenomenon that's recently kind of hit the scene. But here's a clue. The Water Expo starts at 10:30. Okay, so if you arrive at about 9:45, that means you can graze all the food trucks without waiting in a long line and, get your fill before everything gets started. What do you think? This is a good strategy?
I think that's a good plan. We're having them start set up earlier, and then that way they'll be prepared when the people start showing up, and then somebody can get something to eat. But they're going to be there most all of the day, and we have I believe we currently have 5 trucks that are going to be coming, and they're all excited about it, and we're excited to have them. We brought them in because one of the things I believe in is that if you want to have a good meeting, include food. So Vikram had the idea of getting food trucks out there, so we contacted them, and they were interested, and so they're on the way.
Good deal.
Good. All right, so what are we going to find out there, Laura? I mean, I know that you have a lot of questions. You're interested in the rainwater harvesting stuff.
Yeah, I am. But one thing I'm wondering about, is this like a come-and-go thing, or are you having scheduled speakers where people are going to want to be there for the whole thing so they don't miss anything?
We have speakers that start at 11 o'clock, and they run through 4 o'clock. And we have 3 concurrent speakers going for the first 3 hours, and then we just go down to the main stage. We have 3 stages in there. And so you may not be able to get all the ones that you want. It's almost kind of like a convention. Mm-hmm. And so you'll go in there, and there's 3 choices in the beginning.
Interest sessions.
Right.
Is what they would call them. Interest sessions.
Okay, that's a good word. I'm going to have to write that down.
Interest sessions.
Can you say interest sessions, neighbor?
Someone who's been to a few trade conventions, right? Trade shows.
So anyway, we've got them all broke out. We tried to separate them out to where you don't have like 2 xeriscaping ones, but we have xeriscaping, and we have water-wise plants and trees, and I believe it's Adeline Fox is doing a Water 101, kind of gives everybody an overview what it is that they can do, the simple stuff, check your toilet, and there's a really simple method and that she had told me about, and you can get little dye packs that you can put in your toilet, and if your toilet is leaking, the flapper is leaking, then you will have that dye will go into the toilet, and it tells you, oh, I've got a leak. Oh. And so that's one of those things that's really, you don't really notice, but it's continually running, and if it continually runs all the time, then...
Well, and you don't, every once in a while... And this has happened a couple of times. One time, first time it ever happened to me, it was just like, wow. But sometimes you hear like from afar in the distance of the house, you hear this.
Yeah.
And it leaks just a little bit, and then it fills up. So it's incremental, but it does it 24 hours a day, and it ends up raising your water bill like $135 a month. It's crazy. Oh.
I have one of my rentals. The tenant called me, and his bill was through the roof. And so I send my guy over there, and he goes and he finds that their flapper is stuck on one of the toilets. Well, they'd quit using that bathroom. And so that toilet, the flapper was stuck up, and it ran, and his bill was like $300. And so it's those simple things that we can all do. I mean, it really is as simple as to turn the water off while you shave, or turn the water off while you brush your teeth. Mm-hmm. Get it wet, turn it off. And, the cheapest water we can get is the water that we already have.
Right. Lauren, it just goes to show you it pays to know your toilet.
That's correct, I guess.
So, but then also the meat of the subjects that we have is that most of our water that is consumed is through landscaping. And so we have a heavy focus on what you can do with what type of turfs that are the right kind of turfs for here. Fiskew is beautiful, but it's really thirsty. Mm-hmm. The rain gardens that they have, the High Plains Water District has got a beautiful example of a rain garden, which is basically native plants that when it rains, they turn green, and when it doesn't rain, they turn brown, but they don't die. And so when the water comes, it fills up this garden, and that will actually sustain the plants for quite an extended period of time. So we're real heavy on the xeriscaping. That's a big part. I'm going to be this year. I finally have figured out what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do some xeriscaping in my yard, which is removing turf and putting in some water-wise plants of that nature.
Yeah. So we can find out, what plants are good for that.
Right.
And you'll have information on people who can do that for you?
Right.
I guess?
There are these different classes, and they've set it up. Tom's Trees is going to set up a mini nursery. So you can go in and you can go attend the classes and stuff, and they'll tell you the different ideas and the different types of plants. And I believe Vikram has got it set up to where they're color-coded. So you can go in and take the class, and then you can go out into the breezeway there at the high school, and Tom's Trees will actually have those kind of plants, so you can actually pick up those plants and take them home with you at that time.
Oh, nice.
Wow, that's nice. Very convenient.
That's a good idea.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a new feature this year. We did it last year in August, and it was kind of we threw every idea we had at the wall and see what stuck, and about half of it stuck, and then now we're trying the new things, and this is one of them, and so are the food trucks.
The thing is now it's not in August, it's earlier in the season.
Right.
So
Well, it was about a year ago this time that we had the idea to do this, so we didn't, we only had a few months to put it together, and so that we did a survey and found that one of the main things is people wanted it in the spring. So
Right. How many people do you think you had last year at the first one?
we're not really sure, but we did a survey to find out, how well we reached the public. And we had a whole lot of people that came through that did not take the survey, but we had over 300 that did take classes and filled out the surveys and told us what worked and didn't work. We had a lot of people that came in early, way early, where we still had people setting up and stuff, and they never got it. And then people that kind of wandered out that we weren't able to tackle and ask to fill out that.
Yeah.
Okay, got a question. All right, you're going to have speakers kind of rolling through the day.
Correct.
Is there somewhere, do you have a Facebook page or something where people can get on and kind of see in advance what speakers are going to be speaking when? So
Yes.
they can kind of plan their day out?
Right. If you go to the Wolfforth Water Expo on Facebook, we have a Facebook page there, and it has different pages there that'll show. I just put one up that says what the classes are and what time.
Okay, good.
So it has that. It has some of the food trucks that we're going to have. It has them on there, and we have Walter Drop. Walter Drop is our new character. And he's going to be out there, and he's a mascot. And we have videos. You'll start seeing the commercials run, and some really Vikram and Adeline have produced some really wonderful little advertisements that are going to be running on TV with him. So look for Walter to give you ideas.
Yeah, Walter is a walking water drop.
Yes. Well, Walter's quite a character, and so he'll be out there at the expo, and he has free gifts for the kids and stuff.
Oh, nice. Okay, good. All right, David Cooper, Wolfforth Water Expo. If somebody needs to get a hold of you, how would they reach you if they have some serious questions?
If they have serious questions, they can give me a call directly at 866-2133.
All right. Save the date this Saturday, Wolfforth Water Expo, Frenship High School, May 9th, 10:30 to 4 p.m. 10:30 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Correct.
Food trucks available. Get there early and dine sumptuously. Thanks for coming in, man.
Thanks for having me.
We'll talk more about it a little bit later on in the week. Of course, Vikram will be in at 7:10 on Thursday morning. Tom and Laura have been talking with David Cooper at the Wolfforth Water Expo. It's coming up this Saturday from 10:30 to 4. Now, we thought we had covered it just when you thought it was safe to go back into the water. We forgot something. We forgot several somethings. Okay, there is
There's just so much to talk about.
Yeah, there's also going to be a special kids area, education area. But there's also some fun activities for kids. And, that is Mother's Day weekend. So we're tying that into Mother's Day weekend. What's going on, man?
We have these small clay pots that were donated by Ivy Gardens, and And the idea behind it is they're going to be decorated. We have pins and decorative tape and stuff.
Sharpies and stuff like that.
Right,
Yeah.
with rainbows of colors. And the kids get to decorate those. And then the master gardeners are going to help them plant it with a plant and educate them a little bit about potting the plants and stuff. And then the kids will have something they can give their mothers.
For Mother's Day.
For Mother's Day.
And there's no charge for this.
No, everything that we're doing here, short of the food, is free. We feel that the message that we have is so important. We've been fortunate enough that the City of Wolfforth and some of their entities have funded this, and so it's 100% free to the public. So it's really important to come out.
That's going to cost you.
Right.
The plants are not free.
Tom's Trees place is really generous, but I think they need to have money for their plants.
Right.
So. But as far as the speakers and the kids' activities and stuff like that, we have another kids' activity that we're doing that is called the rain stick, and it's basically like a paper towel holder, and they put rice and beans in it and seal it, and then they decorate it and put feathers on it and all of that. And so those are included. Plus, Lubbock for Kids is doing some projects as well, and so we have multiple activities that are going to be going on. One of the other things that's really kind of neat about the food trucks is the fact we have inside seating. Now, I don't know if any of y'all have ever attended kind of a food truck type of event, but it's a stand-up event and trying to eat. So the Student Activity Center, we have room inside where it'll be nice and cool, and you can sit down and you can enjoy your food.
Great.
We've asked the food truck vendors to produce samplers. And kind of the idea is instead of you coming in and getting one thing from one of the vendors, they have this sampler and you can sample whatever it is that they have. And the idea being is that you can you don't fill up in one truck. You get a little bit at this truck, a little bit at the next truck. And then that gives them an opportunity to show off their stuff. Mm-hmm. So there's one that's the Twisted Texan. He makes a grilled macaroni and cheese sandwich. And you wouldn't believe the amount of comments I've received from everybody saying, I got to try that mac and cheese sandwich. So
sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Well, people are always, when around the dinner table, you see them trying to scrape out like the burned on cheese from the side and nibble on that because it tastes good.
Right.
It really does.
Well, I've got a picture of that mac and cheese sandwich on the Wolfforth Water Expo at Facebook. So you can actually see it.
Nice. All right. Okay, so everything, admission is free. The kids' activities are free. Only thing, if people want to purchase something like plants or rain barrels or stuff like that, and plants, those are
right. We have several vendors that are coming that will be offering like rainwater harvesting supplies for sale, and so you'll actually be able to either get or order those types of items.
Yeah, so basically rain barrels.
Well, no, there's rainwater harvesting has got a whole complex of stuff. So there's valves and screens and all kinds of things. So we've got several displays that are going to be rather large that are going to be showing all that stuff.
Fantastic.
Apparently it's more involved than we knew. Mm-hmm. All right. Hey, David Cooper, thanks for being with us. Wolfforth Water Expo this Saturday, 10:30 to 4 p. Be there.
Thanks for having me. We look forward to seeing you.
Aloha.